All tips and advice given throughout the series is borrowed from personal motherhood experience. Milky Truth is not a healthcare medical professional, however, will share details on every drop of truth with no given for absolutely. The latch. Oh, that puzzling latch. When it comes to breastfeeding, the latch can be one of the most stressful and hardest things to grasp. It can be overwhelming, and a lot of the time mothers start blaming themselves for not being able to get it right. But honey, it is not your fault, and more importantly, you're not alone. The latch is something that has to be learned not only by mother, but baby too. It all comes down to trial and error. And I know you think you don't have enough time for trial and error when you have a hungry, screaming baby in your arms, but in most cases it will happen with time and practice. Practice, practice, practice. I'm Gope. Hiya. I am a full-time mum to my little ray of sunshine. Yeah. I'm somebody who had a love-hate relationship with her breastfeeding journey. I only ever witnessed nice sugar-coated videos of breastfeeding, which made me struggle and feel alone. But you're not alone, because I present to you Milky Truth, the breastfeeding series, where I'll be giving you the whole full-fat details of my breastfeeding journey, as well as some tips and advice based on my experience, boob to boob. So let's get into it. First of all, a breastfeeding latch is literally how baby attaches onto boob, mouth to nip. Sounds simple, right? Nah. This sadly is not the movies, it is reality, and as naive as I was, I never knew there were different factors that needed to be considered, like positioning, baby's tongue placement, mother's stress levels, baby's stress levels. I genuinely thought from first sight baby would just suck away and it would be magical. Boy, was I wrong. The magical hour. You may hear this term if you plan to breastfeed. The magical hour is considered to be a natural process where baby will try and figure out itself how to latch onto your breast for the first feed through skin-to-skin contact with mummy. Oh, and this all happens after the first hour of giving birth, hence we called magical hour. Magical, right? Let's get real. I'm going to tell you my experience of my magical hour. I went in thinking, ooh, I cannot wait for this moment to happen and kickstart my breastfeeding journey. And to be honest, that 1 hour of skin-to-skin contact after your baby is born will be the best reward you could ever ask for. I mean, it's the long-awaited cuddle you've been waiting for 9 months, and it's a moment you will never forget. But after about 45 minutes of you staring at each other, you start to wonder, that's not my nipple. Oh, that's not my nipple. That's definitely not my nipple. So you try and help them out a little bit, place their lips a bit closer to your nipple in hopes that they will latch. But the most I got in that hour was a little tongue lick. Not a feed or anything, just a little, like a little kitten. So naturally I start to panic. I didn't plan for this. Should I even breastfeed? Why is baby not latching? Oh my god. Don't worry. If they don't latch straight away, it's okay. There are other ways of feeding your baby. And also, you're lucky if it happens first time round anyway. So what actually ended up happening? Turned out that the boob to mouth thing just wasn't going to happen for me the first night, or second, or third night. And I spent my 3 nights in hospital and expressing my colostrum. Colostrum, the thick milky good stuff they call liquid gold. I mean, I spent hours just squeezing away. Kind of reminded me of trying to squeeze that last bit of toothpaste out with all my might out of that defeated tube. Then with a syringe sucked up every drop that came out of my nips. From there, I was told to syringe that good stuff into the side of my baby's mouth. And that's how I breastfed. Now, my advice to you going into breastfeeding is don't get down if it doesn't start off how you expected. Just do what works for you and baby. Be prepared to hand express. Use syringes to feed, and lastly be open to possibly supplementing with formula in the beginning while you wait for your milk supply to come in and figure out how to latch. Now, the first few weeks can be real difficult. With no schedule or routine, baby feeding round the clock, waiting for your swollen genitals to heal, dry cracked nipples, and still having to figure out the latch. You'll be spending your days and nights trying to suss out this breastfeeding game. I mean, just when I thought I got somewhere one day, the next day my son could just not find my nipple. He was so impatient and hungry he would just bounce his head around my breast in desperation. Then, when he finally found it, he would be chomping on that nip until it was red raw. Literally a baby shark. Now, if it's painful and it don't feel right, it's probably not. Stop. Quick nip tip. If you sense the latch isn't right and you want to reposition, do not be pulling that baby off your nips because it can be extremely painful. So a handy tip my midwife told me was to slide my little pinky finger into the corner of baby's mouth in between the gums, then very gently and slightly turn it to unlatch that sucker. Then you're good to reposition. Now, during the first few weeks, slowly with patience, about 2 months later, seriously, a lot of sleepless nights and mental breakdowns, I got closer to finding the right angle, position, and what was the most comfortable for baby and for me. Quick tip, you mummy have to make sure you are comfortable too when feeding. Don't get yourself stuck in any awkward positions just because baby happened to latch and you're too scared to move. I have done this many times. You'll just end up with a crooked back, silly Billy. Now, there are various positions you can try. I mean, you've got the cradle, you've got the football hold, you've got the laid back, and you've got the side lying. And you can talk to your healthcare professional about these in more detail. But like I said, it's all trial and error. I mean, I ended up with my own position, which I like to call not the most appropriate, but the shotgun. I mean, it was comfortable and it worked. Anywho, I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's okay if you get upset, it's okay if you get frustrated, and it's okay if you're just taking it day by day or even hour by hour to figure out this latch. I promise you, with some patience and practice, you will get the right latch. I'd like to add, however, if it doesn't work out for you and you choose to move on, that is also okay. At times as mums, if something doesn't work out as we expect, we tend to beat ourselves up about it. But this does not in any way represent our ability and qualities of being good mamas. Well, there you have it, the truth about my latch experience and what you may expect. Now, if you had a good little chuckle at this very informative and visual video, feel free to give it a like and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for some more Milky Truths. Thanks for watching!